Hello and welcome to my new show, Cursed Competition. In this show, myself, Zuczid, and a guest will be trying to create a cursed deck based on a concept we spin on the wheel. This could be a card, a deck building philosophy. No matter what, it's gonna be a ton of fun, and it'll be especially fun because our first guest is the Macro Show. I mean, just a legendary YouTuber at this point. I am so excited. He's a pretty great deck builder, and I'm excited to see what we cook up based on this topic. Let's see what we get on the wheel, okay? Okay. It looks like it is going to be Uria. We're gonna see a lot of trap cards, and yeah, let's see what we can do.
I'm Macro. I am a YouTuber. I don't do Yu-Gi-Oh content, but I'm obsessed with Edison format.
We are both gonna show off these decks, and then we are going to basically try to convince the other person why our version of the concept is funnier, more competitive, and more creative. Today we have Uria on the chopping block, and we both approached it in different, crazy, insane ways.
Oh, yeah.
I will be going first in this competition. So, Macro, here is my version of Uria. And as you can tell, it's Jester Lord. It is Jester Lord Uria. Jester Lord is a very funny OTK card that works extremely well with continuous trap cards. Specifically, this card, which locks your opponent's spell and trap cards down.
Okay, okay, I see the logic. I see the logic of it. Okay.
So the ideal scenario is if you have Jester Lord and a bunch of back row, you can lock down their back row, and Jester Lord will potentially have 7,000 attack.
That first continuous trap.
Desk Counterblow.
Desk Counterblow.
And the funniest thing about Desk Counterblow is Limit Reverse. If you have 4 spell traps, you attack with Jester Lord, and you get in for 4,000, you can limit reverse it back, and in the same battle phase, OTK them.
Okay, did that happen in some of your...
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay, I'm over here like, dude, that's crazy. It happened? You're like, no, not at all. But in theory...
This guy is sort of the middle point of the deck, because he can either get out a Jester Lord straight from the deck, or he can get out a Sandgan, and as you know, Sandgan can search Uria because he has 0 attack. It can also search the Jester. You can attack into their monster and flip Begone Knave. Their monster will have done battle damage to you, so their monster will go to their hand, and then you get out another tomato from the deck, and you can basically...
that's actually just a crazy combo.
You can clear their entire field, and then the last monster you summon out is the Jester Lord to get in and attack directly, and then it goes back to your hand to protect it. One other thing is, decks like this tend to lose to Heavy Storm, but if you flip Anti-Spell Fragrance in the standby phase, they cannot Heavy Storm you that turn. So then they have to set their spells, and then you can lock their spells down with this card.
That's like triple synergy. Even if you don't have Zing Zang Zun, like they have to set their spells. So they set like 3 spells because they want to use them next turn. That just makes your Jester Lord even bigger. So, and there's no real like unless they put real back row, but like sometimes that back row won't even be real because it's just spells.
That is like all of the philosophy around the deck. As you can see, our opening hand is pretty good. We got a couple of cards.
Oh, with Solemn alone, he's like, you just won.
We're going to set everything. They attack with the DD Warrior Lady, and we can activate this Desk Counterblow, and it'll destroy the DD Warrior Lady. It's nice that you could do this like after they declare.
It's like a bad Sakuretsu armor.
It is. It is like Uria's Sakuretsu armor. It's very funny. And then they're going to set 3 cards. We summon Jester, they Solemn, we Solemn, they're Solemn.
Gonna kill them, no way.
Okay, so then they're going to summon Kaiku. We have Desk Counterblow again, and then you can activate Magic Planter, which is kind of funny.
Oh, he's Dark Bribe?
And then he attacks me for some reason, and then it dies. He doesn't have macro, so we just set a bunch of cards. We set the Sandgan. He's going to use the Honest and attack into the Sandgan, and we can search our deck for the Mystic Tomato.
Oh, it's about to get spicy in here.
I'm doing this because we have the Begone Knave, and then he'll set another back row. We're going to MSC the new one, and it was a torrential, and then we are going to go in and activate the Begone Knave, but unfortunately he has the deep prison.
But I assume here you compulse your tomato, because like tomato's like your playmaker here, right?
Oh,
No, you don't. Sucks in that. What? Why wouldn't you?
I don't know. I'm surprised these two cards haven't come up before.
I think because they're mandatory, you as a turn player can choose the chain link order, and then you just do chain link 1, Begone Knave, chain link 2, Death's Counterblow, and then you just destroy them with Death's Counterblow. That's my logic of how I think it would work. Oh, that's strong. Yeah, I forgot you had Mirror Force. Yeah, they do both go to grave because at the time, yeah, okay, you're in a great spot then. And you drew a Magic Planter.
Yeah.
So I assume, oh, this is gonna be so good.
You can Magic Planter the call, search for the Jester Lord with the Zangan, and then normal summon.
5,000 attack.
Get in
Jester
for 5,000. Yes.
And then bounce the Jester Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oh no.
Wait, no, you still destroyed.
Yeah. See, I was not sure. I should have bounced it. I just didn't know. And then he's just gonna get in and let his guy die, and then I can activate this on his card and my card, and then I can still chain my card, and his still stays locked down, basically.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
that's a cool little tech I didn't realize. That's great.
So you can do this on one card as long as you have something to chain yourself.
Okay, well if you top deck Uriah or Jester Lord or this, you're fine.
I don't know what I was doing. I think we could probably fast. Oh.
Oh, Uriah came
Okay,
out.
Uriah.
And you have the Zing Zing Hoom, so you're like super safe. I'm obsessed with one card in this entire format, and I've been trying to break it, and it may be something we both like try our best to break, and it's Escape from the Dark Dimension.
Ooh.
I
have
love
not
this
looked
card.
at this card yet, but
I think this card
cool.
is so underrated and so underutilized and unexplored, because if Return from a Different Dimension, a card that's at 1 but it like wins games, is a good card, why isn't Escape being explored? Because it does essentially return. It's like a mini return for specifically a dark monster.
Is that DD Survivor on the card?
I think it is. It
Wow,
looks
that
really
is
cool, right?
That's like lore
The
accurate.
art is
'cause
tight.
he,
The
like,
art
gets
is super
banished.
tight. And then I also realized that there's a lot of really good draw cards that banish. Besides, like Allure of Darkness, of course, at 1 for good reason. It's a little bit too good. But Common Charity.
I love this card.
It's just Allure, but worse. I thought, what dark normal monsters can like turbo out and get me to Escape from a Dark Dimension? Cosmo Queen and Tri-Horn Dragon.
I cannot believe you're playing McDonald's cards.
Only Edison legal. Level 8 with trade-in synergy. Level 8 dark normal monsters. Their attack stats are big too. They're 2900 and 2850. So you whip them out. This card is just a big beater card. Like if Vayu Turbo's goal is to get big beaters, my big beaters are bigger than your beaters. There's 2 other cards that I want to really discuss. Obviously, Uriah is the main star of this show. The cards that ended up winning me more games than anything ended up being the Advanced Draw combo that I found. So Advanced Draw is another card where if you tribute a face-up level 8 or higher monster, you can draw 2 cards. That works in tandem with Escape, because like if I use Escape to summon out Cosmo Queen, I can gain really big advantage by using Advanced Draw to tribute the Cosmo Queen. It would actually make the Escape stay.
It makes
the Escape
it stay.
stays,
Yeah,
and then
that's
I can
so
Magic
cool.
Planner it away or use it for Uriah later.
That is so smart, because like Magic Planter in my deck felt like so mid because it's always a 2 for 2. Like you're exchanging 2 cards for 2 draws.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's like you get a little half card in the card that sticks around a little bit more often.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was actually finding myself with like 8 cards in my hands, and I was like, whoa, am I turboing? Like, am I
Wow.
doing like a little dragon turbo here? Yeah, this is the full deck, and I want to show you a couple replays. You ready?
Oh, I'm so ready. This deck looks incredible.
Right off the bat, like this hand is not bad. It's actually really solid because you see that we have the Common Charity and the Summoner's Art. So right off the bat, these two are going to synergize with each other, and we got the Escape. And we got the Advanced Draw Magic. Like this hand is ideal as long as they don't have heavy.
I love like any deck that plays so many spell traps that it can kind of play around Dust Shoot, because if they Dust Shoot you, and then you
Yeah.
can still search the monster with the Summoner's Art.
So right here, I just Summoner's Art, and this is the rule of thumb. You're always getting Cosmo Queen first because Cosmo Queen's bigger and better. It's just
That's
by 50
so
by
funny.
50 attack, but it matters. That 50 attack matters. So
Makes
here
sense.
they set a monster and they set a back row, and then I immediately Common Charity because I don't want, in case they have Decree or something. I Common Charity, and then in case they have Bottomless too, I also use the Escape, just so I can play around Bottomless or whatever. And I
So
think
cool.
it ended up being a Call to Haunted, but like yeah, like it would, if it was Bottomless, that would have been really like amazing play. But here I get to showcase what this deck is doing. Where like I told you about earlier, you can use the Advanced Draw play here, So I'll draw 2. The escape, if you read it, it just says when this card leaves the field, destroy the target, and when the target is destroyed, destroy this card. So since it wasn't destroyed, it was just tributed, this just stays.
Do you want to know something really funny?
What?
The only one of these that doesn't work like that is Graceful Revival.
I think there's 2. There's another one, the Lightsworn one also.
Oh, really?
Glorious, yeah,
Oh,
Glorious Illusion.
yeah.
That one also just always goes to the grave. It's like crazy. We're gonna Allure of Darkness.
Oh my god.
Oh, I Magic Planner first. Then I Allure of Darkness. Look at how much draws we're
This
getting.
is insane.
And now we have our second escape is live. We have the Metal Reflect Slime. We have a Skill Drain. We have just like so much stuff. Unfortunately, we still do lose to like heavy with this hand, but we don't mind because we've already drawn like so many cards. So I think I just set 3. I set 4. Okay, I just YOLO. I didn't realize I just YOLO'd.
I respect
Like, who cares?
it. I respect it.
So he goes in. He just summons this, and this is actually crazy. He decides to use the Lone Fire, tributing Dandy as cost, and I go after cost. I change Skill Drains, and now he just has this Lone Fire with 2 tokens, and Lone Fire is once per turn.
Yeah, that's so nice.
And then he tries to attack. I'm like, I'm not taking any damage. I'm not taking any damage here.
So
we're gonna summon
cool.
Cosmo Queen. So look, right off the bat, just like your deck, like Uria is not the reason I'm winning. Like this Cosmo Queen skill drain synergy is like amazing.
Yeah, your boss monster is Cosmo Queen.
So we attack for 24 over the Lone Fire, and then afterwards I still advance draw because I'm looking for our boss monsters. I'm looking for stuff. I draw another Magic Planner. I common Charity. There's Uria. The boy is ready and he's live.
Oh my
Magic
god.
Planner away. I have so much draws. It's crazy. I'm able to sit in Imperial Custom now, so now this is all protected and insulated from like any mass destruction.
You have
But
5 card set and 5 cards in hand.
He summons a tomato. I chain call the Haunted on the Cosmo Queen. Okay, but here we're finally gonna see the boss monster in action. Okay, I have a skill drain up, but the skill drain doesn't really matter. He just has tokens, and this back row won't matter because, as I explained earlier, Uria can priority hit this back row, and they can't chain it, right? But they kind of are afraid. So then standby phase, because I activate all this stuff in like main phase. They're like freaking out. Or end phase or whatever. They're freaking out. So they're calling back this Dandy, which is gonna kill them. And I said, I typed in the chat, that's gonna kill you.
At least you're honest, you know?
I send the Metal Reflect Slime and the Call of the Haunted, so all that's gone. This Uria, if you look at the grave, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,000. It's not enough. But I have a Magic Planner in my hand. So it's just enough. And it was scary.
20 cards for one 6,000 attack monster.
Oh yeah, it's like I totally minus for that. It's such a like Uria is a minus. There's like I think there's potential here. That's the part that like blew me away when in my testing with it. I was like, there's something here. It might not be Uria, but like this draw engine is crazy.
Trap Dragon Turbo.
So we have another incredible hand. We got the Summoner's Art. Summoner's Art's amazing. We get the Cosmo Queen. We just set all 5 and pass. The reason I set all 5 is because I have the Imperial Custom. And in standby phase is important. I immediately common Charity because I want to make sure that if they do heavy me, this Escape from the Dark Dimension will be able to activate.
Mm-hmm.
So I immediately in standby phase use common Charity. I end up drawing a trade in Cosmo Queen, which is amazing for next turn. The Gladiator beats the Quarry. They attack. I summon our Cosmo Queen. Just good insulation. They think for a bit there. They try to creature swap. I decide I'm going to chain... I'm gonna chain Metal Reflect Slime.
Oh.
He does the Heavy Storm play. I chained Skill Drain and I chain Imperial Custom. So all this will stay. Heavy Storm is not a fear, but then they chain MST to the Imperial Custom.
Oh.
So that blows up everything, which actually helps me out because it does get rid of the Metal Reflect Slime. We draw another Metal Reflect Slime. We trade in away our Cosmo Queen. We draw Uria, but it's dead, but it's okay. I have this Laquari that they gave me that I'm just gonna start poking in with. I set the Metal Reflect Slime and pass. He just keeps setting stuff, but I'm beating him down.
Ooh,
I draw Summoner's Art, so all 3 Cosmo Queens have now been activated. I draw a Trihorn Dragon and a Skill Drain. Set the Skill Drain and pass. I'm just beating him down with his own Laquari. He cannot handle it.
Oh my god.
And then he Book of Moons is like my Laquari. I'm like, dude, are you okay? Like, it's just a Laquari. He summons his own Bestiary. He attacks into it. He does his effect thing, but then whatever he summons out, I know I'm gonna skill drain it because I just want him to summon some weaker monster, which he does. And now, as you can see here,
oh my god,
He's gonna bottomless this, which is like annoying. I was actually a little bit upset. So that does get rid of Soul Resurrection. But I was hoping he wouldn't because I could just get the Uriah. But next turn I will get Uriah for sure. Because I got this. So I'm able to Metal Reflex Slime with Skill Drain, with Imperial Custom. This is like an impossible board to get through. So I can get rid of him whenever I'm ready. And I think I'm ready here because at this point, if you can see our grave, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total traps, plus the 3 that I'm going to be sending. So this Uriah is going to be 8,000 attack large. And with priority, I can pop this back row. Yep, he's 8,000 attack. And attack per game.
Here we are at the end. We've witnessed the madness, and now we are going to vote. And right off the bat, I am like thoroughly inspired by both of our creations. Like, I think Uriah is good, but I'm going to be thinking so much about that combination of the common charity, the special summon engine that you had in your deck, and I'm definitely going to be trying to put this Begone Knave tomato engine into a different deck. But now we can get on to Uriah, who is the star of this episode, and talk about our decks.
Let's start with the most obvious thing. Creative wise, I think they're both very creative. And when we look at creativity in Edison, we're looking at, are we using a lot of not really explored cards? Yeah, I say yours definitely uses a bit more of unexplored interactions in cards. For sure.
But the thing is, you had like 10 duels of your thing working. My interactions are like creative, but like they're just in the clouds. Like they never came to fruition. They just kind of were like an idea in a deck builder's head. But
you know what? That's fair. So I wouldn't give it like a full 5, but I would say like a solid 3, maybe 3.5.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Would you agree with that? Like, do you think?
I agree. I mean, I think it's up to you what you get. You could give my deck a 1, and that would be like I can't do anything about
dude, I know,
it.
and maybe we shouldn't already do half stars, but I want to put it 3.5. I think 3.5 is fair.
Okay, 3.5. Final answer.
Put it there. Like, edit the half a star in there too.
For your deck, I'm actually like thoroughly impressed because I look through a lot of jank all the time, and I'm always trying to come up with like draw engines. Like, it's so hard to come up with a good draw engine for your deck. And like I tried with like dinos, and I've looked at Magic Planter so many times, but I have never like seen a draw engine as effective as this one. Like, I was so impressed. And just for that alone, because that's hard to do. Like, sure, you're gonna brick like every like once in a while on the 8 monsters you play as we saw.
There's no monster.
But like, it seems like such a well-oiled machine, and like that is, in terms of deck building, I honestly might have to give it a 5. I'm between like 4 and 5 because it's just like,
if you're between 4 and 5, 4.5.
Okay, half stars are the way to go. Final answer. But I'm so impressed, honestly. Like, it is so hard to make it. Like, that's an engine that works that well. I mean, that's what an engine does. It like moves, and you've clearly stumbled into something very, very cool with your deck.
Dude, I definitely think this is a engine worth exploring on like genuinely just like people trying to break it in some way, because it doesn't have to be Uriah. Uriah is definitely just like, Uriah is good in this version, but like, I also think there might be just a better boss monster or just better cards. Like, they're all dark cards. You could be like a good dark deck.
I'm just excited to see what silly dark normal monsters people start playing to try and make that engine work in different decks. So
agreed.
I'm very excited to see that.
On the competitive side, for the Jester, I mean, dude, I'll be honest. If you get the Zing Zang combo with the Jester, I think that is actually really good going into a lot of meta decks. There's some sauce there, you know? Like, there's something there. Like, Anti-Spell Fragrance shuts down a lot of really good decks too. I think 4 stars is like
okay, I have to stop you there.
Sorry, tell me, how bad was it? How bad was it?
I have a bad habit of showing my wins, but there's a field of horrible matches. This deck, I've played a lot of jank decks, and I would probably maybe a 1. Like,
it was that bad.
It's so fragile. Everything in this deck relies on your opponent doing something, having no monsters, attacking you. Like, sometimes it works and it looks beautiful when it happens, but like most of the time they just won't do what you want them to do, and then you're just sitting with all these cards that only work based on how your opponent plays. I would activate Cold Wave, and then they would chain Call of the Haunted, and I'm like, okay, my deck literally does nothing, and I'm just Cold Wave, so I can't activate any spells or traps. And you got this one. And then you have a 0 attack Jester Lord.
Oh, because it has to be the only monster.
The only one, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just on your side of the field.
No, this card is so much worse.
Oh my gosh,
it's
dude!
So much worse.
I legitimately no, it does not belong. Sorry, I thought it was only monster on your side of the field.
I cannot believe you went through this whole episode.
I'm sorry. I legit was like, there's something here, man. I'm like, no, there's less here now. It just loses out to a monster. Like you're over here losing a tree-born frog. Like,
yeah.
Like, what is going on?
It's so bad though, but it's so funny.
It's funny.
Like,
oh yeah, we'll get there. You know what? I'm okay with giving it 1 star with that information, with that context. 1 star is fair. I will give you context on my deck then before you rate it competitive, because I know you saw some gas. I do think that it has some potential, but its game plan is almost like near impossible to do anything with. Common Charity being a trap is one of the biggest issues this deck has. So you like, even though you see it and you're like, it helps you out, it just doesn't give you like the turbo that you want the way that other turbo decks do have. So I do think it's not 1 star, but it's nowhere near like 4 or 5.
I was thinking 3.
Oh, yeah, I think 3's fair. I think
even in the way that Dragon Turbo can brick, you just like kind of, not you need to get lucky, but you really need to like rely on a bunch of small synergies to do the bare minimum, basically.
And now we're on to our 3rd and final category. We put in the funny category. I think yours is so much funnier than mine. I've like, even after seeing mine's cool because you're like seeing it, but it's like, it's just a guy doing combo stuff. Yours, if it happens.
Okay.
No, let me explain. Let me just explain how funny it is to lose to this little dude. You summon this guy who's like 8K or 7K.
That's where it's really funny. It's when it's only 7K and then you still lose the game.
Oh. I want to give yours 4 to 5 on the funny scale. I think it's very funny. But if we're trying to not be super generous because in the future we want to really save it, I'd still give it 4.
And for your deck, you said you don't think it's that funny, but you are main decking 3 Cosmo Queen that can win you the game. I think I might give it a 4. Also,
okay, respectful.
Cosmo
Queen is funny.
I have never seen anyone play that card. Also, Trihorn Dragon, he needs some love. He's like
he's just worse blue eyes. He's like everything about him is just worse blue eyes.
And so, Macro will win the first ever episode of Cursed Competition, and it's been a lot of fun. I think you really knocked it out of the park. I was blown away, and I'm really glad we did this because this has just been a blast.
At the end of the day, we're not here trying to get to the top ranks of the DB ladder. We're here to get to the top ranks of the jank ladder.
Yeah, we're here to play Cosmo Queen Death Counterblow. That's what this is all about.
Exactly. Play that outro music.